ABC 6 News 11 at 11 starts right now.
This is video from a neighboring business as a car speeds into a restaurant in Smithfield, killing one person and trapping others. The new details we are learning at this hour. Plus, smoke from hundreds of miles away impacting our air in a big way here in southern New England. How much longer we'll have to endure. And a new report reveals who's giving gifts to Supreme Court justices and who needed more time to reveal who was bankrolling their lavish trips. Our top story tonight on 11 at 11. One person is dead, multiple others injured after a speeding car drove into a Subway restaurant. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm Tiffany Murphy. This happened just before 3 o'clock this afternoon in Smithfield. ABC 6 reporter Caitlin Gilhouse has been on the scene there all afternoon and all evening long. She joins us live with new information. Caitlin.
Good evening. I'm here in Smithfield, where just you can see behind me is the Subway where the man drove right through the side of the sandwich shop. Officials say that he was going at a very high speed, leaving one person dead and 5 hospitalized.
Received multiple calls at 1450 of a vehicle into the Subway sandwich shop here in Apple Valley Mall. First dividing trucks that pulled up found one vehicle inside of the sandwich shop with multiple injuries, with 2 people trapped under the vehicle.
The deputy fire chief described the scene as a car coming at the building at a high rate of speed, crashing into the Subway and even pushing into the Planet Fitness behind the sub shop. There were customers and staff inside the restaurant at the time. The chief confirming they were among those injured, but he could not comment on any fatalities.
We transported 6 to area hospitals at this time, and we have 1 in critical condition. I want to comment right now, we're still trying to put the pieces together ourselves. I can tell you that 5 went to Rhode Island Hospital trauma, and 1 went to Miriam Hospital for the eval.
One of the witnesses, an owner of a business next door to Subway, was in complete shock after what he saw this afternoon.
I hear the noise. It was big engine noise. It just pushing very fast to hit it that way. I thought he could have slowed down, but he didn't slow down, and also he didn't turn. So he's just learned the street to hit the Subway.
Police have not yet identified the deceased victim, the driver, or the 4 others hospitalized. Stick to ABC 6 News, both on air and online, for the latest developments of this story. In Smithfield, I'm Caitlin Gilhouse, ABC 6 News.
As wildfires in Canada continue to send smoke into our region for the first time in 30 years, the Department of Environmental Management is hosting a wildland firefighter training class. ABC 6 News anchor Alyssa Azar was at that class today.
DEM personnel and firefighters are learning the strategies, tools, and tactics needed to respond to wildfires. Training Officer Ben Arnold says it's to increase capacity for wildfire response across the Ocean State.
We always need more boots on the ground, so getting people through this training is very important for us, and, it's something we've wanted to do for a long time.
The training is timely, considering the large wildfires that happened back in April in West Greenwich and Exeter.
We want to be able to have trained firefighters show up at these scenes.
Sydney Clays works in the Office of Emergency Response at the DEM. Clays took part in the training and says she wants to be able to help out if another wildfire were to set blaze in the Ocean State.
Even having that bit of knowledge, being able to go out and just help with DEM, help with the local municipalities, and help wherever you can. And it doesn't necessarily mean attacking that fire. It could just be laying down line and doing more of incident command, helping out with organization.
During Wednesday's outdoor training at the DEM George Washington Management Area, 27 participants worked through several different stations.
One where they'll be digging hand line with hand tools, another where they'll be using water apparatus. Another station is introducing them to firing devices like drip torches and fusees. And the final station is a mop-up station, which requires, teaching them how to extinguish fire that's burning into the ground, both with and without water.
Participants say with wildfires in Canada and wildfires hitting so close to home in Rhode Island, it's imperative first responders are prepared when it comes to large-scale wildfires. In Chepachet, Alyssa Azara, ABC 6 News.
Okay, let's get a check of our forecast now and bring in Storm Tracker Chief Meteorologist Jeff Banson. We want to talk more about the smoke in the air from those wildfires to our north.
Of course, we've had several of these over the last few weeks, and typically it's just been, an interesting thing. You look up, you can see the hazy sky. It has caused some really, really vibrant sunrises and sunsets. But at this particular smoke plume that we've had over the last couple of days, it starts to get a little bit worrisome, especially for those who suffer from respiratory ailments, the elderly, the young. It can be very dangerous to breathe air like this with the air quality that we've seen. Now, there is no air quality alert as of yet for tomorrow from the National Weather Service. That is for New Jersey and down towards the Mid-Atlantic. But Rhode Island DEM has issued one. I think it just may be a matter of time before the Weather Service joins along in issuing that. The current air quality is a little bit better than it was throughout the day today here in Providence. It's at a 70. That's moderate. And we're going to talk about more what that means here in a second. But the colors, green means good, red can mean bad. It's very similar here on their air quality map. And you look for New England, it's not the worst. It's actually improved, but still seeing downright hazardous air quality for New York City, for Philadelphia, dangerous conditions for breathing down there. And we're hoping it's going to improve for them as well. But you look at what that air quality scale means. We're moderate here in Providence. A minor health concerns for a small number of extra sensitive people. We have seen oranges and reds for parts of our area throughout the day today. I do, again, anticipate that this scale is going to get a little bit better coming tomorrow. But again, we're at the mercy of this big spinning upper level low that is siphoning that or kind of funneling that smoke down here across southern New England. You can see the clouds and the showers associated with it as well. And those will be with us for the next couple of days as well. We're going to track that smoke for you coming up in the full weather in just a few minutes. Tiffany.
We will see you then. So on that same topic right now, Senator Jack Reed securing more than $150,000 to monitor air quality right here in Rhode Island. The DEM will be using those funds from the Clean Air Act to gather and process data and then pass along its findings to the public. Reed says that the funding can, quote, help us be better informed and better prepared, and we must continue working to prevent pollution and improve air quality. Meantime, millions of Americans right now are dealing with these same hazy skies and air pollution that we're seeing right now. Issues have been reported across more than a dozen states so far, all the way from New York to Ohio, even Georgia. Here's ABC's Melissa Adon.
Startling images across the country. The New York skyline looking out of this world, appearing orange and blanketed with thick, dark smoke. New York City's air quality index hitting 484 on Wednesday. Anything above 300, according to the EPA, is considered hazardous.
It's crazy, isn't it?
The impact stretching across the Northeast and as far south as Georgia. Sporting events in New York and Philadelphia postponed. Low visibility delaying flights in and out of New York City area airports. The wildfire smoke triggering hazardous levels of air quality.
The red dots, that's the actual ground measurements of unhealthy, very unhealthy, or hazardous air in places like Hartford, New York City, Scranton, Syracuse, and back through Philly, and probably D.C. tomorrow. You see the flow kind of brings things down I-95.
Very, very scary. Just walking down the street and feeling like I'm going to have an asthma attack. That's how bad the air quality is.
Researchers at Stanford University say exposure to wildfire smoke with an air quality index of 150 for several days is equivalent to smoking about 7 cigarettes a day if someone were outside the entire time. To help protect yourself from wildfire smoke, doctors recommend minimizing your time outdoors and also wearing a face mask like an N95. The smoky conditions are expected to last the next few days while wildfires in Canada continue to burn. The country is dealing with a devastating fire season as more than 8.7 million acres, an area larger than the state of Vermont, have burned. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
New tonight on 11 at 11. Police in New Bedford arresting a man after carrying out a search warrant on Washington Street. Officers say 18-year-old Victor Montiero was found to be in possession of a loaded handgun that had had its serial numbers partially removed. Cops also removed marijuana with packaging materials and cash. They added he also had an outstanding warrant for his arrest. He is charged with possession of a loaded firearm and ammo without a license and possession with intent to distribute marijuana. To some other local stories we are following tonight at 11 o'clock. Dartmouth police asking for your help finding the man they say robbed an Acme liquor store last night. Police responded to that liquor store on Dartmouth Street around 9:30. An armed man walked into that store, demanded cash from the clerk, and then once he got that, he ran out. That suspect is described as a short male, stocky build, wearing all black. If you know something about this investigation, you are asked to contact police. To national news tonight at 11 o'clock. Newly released financial records are offering a glimpse into the lives of Supreme Court justices. They are required to publicly disclose their financial interests every year. Documents show that Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson received a $1,200 floral arrangement from Oprah, and Sonia Sotomayor received nearly $150,000 in book royalties. Records also show that Amy Barrett, Brett Kavanaugh, and Neil Gorsuch were flown to Italy. Meanwhile, records from Sam Alito and Clarence Thomas were notably absent. Thomas's financial dealings have recently come under scrutiny after it was revealed he failed to disclose years of lavish trips and real estate deals. Thomas and Alito have gotten extensions to file their records. Meanwhile, in the political arena, former Vice President Mike Pence officially launching his presidential campaign tonight. Speaking in Iowa, he accused Donald Trump of abandoning his principles and condemned his role in the January 6th riot. This sets him up for a difficult time in the primary as Mr. Trump remains popular with Republican voters. Pence is the first vice president in modern history to challenge the president he served under. Just ahead on ABC 6 News at 11 o'clock, anxiety disorders are on the rise in younger generations, but not everyone is getting the help they need. We'll tell you more about this troubling new trend. Plus, work begins on a historic energy project right in our own backyard. And wildfire smoke filling our air. Jeff Banson is back with a forecast and what needs to happen in order to clear this smoke out of our area.